Welcome back to It's My Biz, the big show for small business. And in this week's show, we're scrutinizing a media and advertising business called Black Market Media. With us in the Biz Beam is the owner, Thato Sekgaole. Thato.
Thank you.
And still with us, of course, is our panel of biz whizzes, Francis Wright, Mike Said, and Thane Niemand. We're going to begin to collate the information we've gathered and the impressions we've had concerning this business and ask our biz whizzes to tell us what they think Thato should be doing to get this business to where he and they think it should be. Starting with you, Mike, what needs to happen here?
Thato, the first thing you need is a marketing plan. When I tell a business owner to write a marketing plan, they shudder. They think it's going to take 3 days, a ream of paper. It need not. There are 7 steps for you to follow. Step number 1, you need to understand your market and understand your competition and write that down. Step number 2, understand your customer and what their needs are and what's happening in their mind. Step number 3, once you know these customers, pick a niche and move from there. Number 4, develop your marketing message and what it is you're going to be saying to them. Step number 5, determine your marketing mediums. For example, are you going to use the newspaper? Are you going to use radio? Are you going to use the internet? Number 6, set some sales and marketing goals so that you know whether or not it's working. And then finally, number 7, the hardest part of all, put a budget together and put some money in for that.
Isn't the issue really to get it down on paper so that this can be a lot bigger than just a one-man show?
As Mike said, it's a matter of actually putting it down, practicing the actual structure, because we do it well for our clients, but we don't really have one for ourselves.
Francis, there's a great man in charge of this business. Question is, does he have the right people in place to help him grow this business?
I think Thato has fallen into a trap that many entrepreneurs fall into. He appointed people that are the same as him. You tend to want to replicate yourself in your business, where in fact you have to surround yourself with strengths that you don't have. And my suggestion would be to appoint a project manager, an in-house designer and an account manager, people who can keep the customers happy after he's brought them in.
Is that what you've been doing though, Thato? Have you been trying to replicate yourself here?
And that's pretty much what's happening.
Even when you've sort of trained people or you've identified the right people and got them into your business, they need to know what to do. They need to be directed and there has to be a plan in place.
Yes, of course, once you've got the right people in place, the normal HR principles get into place where they have to be trained to follow the way you would like things to happen.
Look at this guy. He's a total nice guy, isn't he? Is this approach the right approach to run a business with, though?
Thato falls into a trap that a lot of business owners fall into, the nice guy syndrome. We see it with things we don't like, but we don't want to address those. And by doing that, Thato, what you're doing is you're delegating, but not correctly. So you need to take full responsibility and actually discipline people that need to be disciplined.
You're paying them, aren't you? I mean, he's paying staff good money to do things he needs done for his business, and if it's not being done, he has to have some sort of recourse.
There are really 3 things why staff aren't working properly. Number 1, maybe they don't know how to do the job.
Right.
There's a specific process that follows on dealing with that. You need to hold an inquiry, you need to help those people. And if they are still not doing the right job because they know what to do and they're just too lazy to do it or don't want to do it, then you still hold an inquiry and then take the process a step further. Then if you have to warn them or dismiss them, then you do that. A third reason why sometimes staff need to be let go is due to operational requirements. There's a specific process you need to follow, and that is negotiate with the staff, discuss alternatives, and then make the decision. But Thato, you need to make that decision.
Francis?
You have to sometimes discipline your people, but the first step is to communicate your vision to your staff. First prize is if they follow you because they want to and they know where the company is going and what its vision and mission is.
But process is hugely important for this business if it's to grow, isn't it?
It is, because you're dependent on your staff to implement according to your clients' requirements. So it's really important to have a process that is very well communicated to your employees so that they can implement what is required by the client in a similar way every time. For instance, if you look at a new marketing client, you would have a map showing to them the first step is strategy. The next step would be the creative concept. Then you would identify the suppliers that you need according to what the client requires. From there, you would then have a process to implement whatever those suppliers have to do. All of those things have to be mapped down on a piece of paper.
If we were to ask any one of your employees to express this to us, would they be able to?
They'd be able to express the vision, the mission. They'd be able to express where we want to go and what we're trying to achieve. The difference is, would they be able to implement that? That's the real question, where I touch back on what Thane said in terms of saying, I need to be more responsible and stop being such a nice guy and actually make sure that that actually happens.
Because these processes have to be written down, have to be documented.
What's also very important is your quality policy. In your quality policy, you have to stipulate what the ethics of the business is, what the values are, your general quality standards, the conduct of the person that is representing your company, even when they're not on duty. If you didn't get them to sign a document like that, if something does go wrong, through the fault of an employee, the company will be liable and not the employee.
And we're talking something even as potentially harmful as an employee behaving perhaps inappropriately with a client, at a rugby match even, something as random as that.
Absolutely. There's big case studies where companies have had to pay out millions of dollars.
I like the point Francis raises about standards. Standards that could definitely be raised as this business attempts to project itself in this industry.
Absolutely. Tata, when we sat together, you exude confidence, ability, passion. Unfortunately, none of that comes out in your website. Your website is static, there's no passion, there's no feeling. You need to get stuck into that website. Make it a reflection of your company. And part of the problem is that there is no strategy behind it. Go back to that marketing strategy you wrote earlier, look at the strategy and bring that into your website. And also bring it into your social media, because that too is disjointed. There are 3 R's of social media: regular, relevant, and remarkable. And unfortunately, what I've seen of what you guys are doing at the moment doesn't reflect that.
Again, is this a situation, Tato, of people you've asked or sort of delegated to who aren't really quite doing what they're meant to?
I do have somebody who's completely handling our Twitter, our Facebook, our website. Their job is to handle all of that on a regular basis. It's not regular. The dates in between are where you have one blog today and another blog a couple of weeks later. You have dates on Facebook where we have something today, we had nothing for another week or 2.
The responsibility rests with you. You have to write the strategy, you have to write the brief, they will implement it.
Thane, it's real easy when cash flow is healthy. What does he have to do in terms of his financial management, his admin side?
Cash flow is very important, but it's only half the picture. In fact, Tata, by managing your business only on cash flow, it's like going to watch Bafana or the Springboks and leaving halfway through the match. You don't get the whole picture. You need financial statements, like a balance sheet, like a profit and loss account that helps you assess the health of your business, the profitability of your business. It helps people on the outside see whether this business has got long-term gain and profitability, and in the short term, whether you're able to meet your payments of your monthly expenses. So balance sheet, financial statements, the whole package, not only just the cash flow.
Great advice, lots to think about though, Tato.